There has been a major shakeup at the highest levels of the government in the new Free Republic of Florida. But don't let your heart be troubled. There is a plan in place. Now, over the last month or two, I have talked about the juggernaut of untouchables that surround our governor. Many people like to believe that what's happened in Florida is the result of one man taking office. That is not the case. He is surrounded by some incredibly talented, driven, and intelligent individuals who happen to be women. Upper left, Laurel M. Lee, our Secretary of State, his wife, the First Lady, Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez, and our Attorney General, Ashley Moody. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about what's recently been announced from the Secretary of State. She is stepping down from her position. Now, some might worry and say, wait a minute, this close to an election? That would be terrible. What would happen if it's an appointed position? So it's directly in control of the governor. What is happening is she is going to run for the newly created district that has been a result of the 2020 election in Florida. We have gained representation in the House of Representatives in D.C., so we need somebody to fill that new seat. Our Secretary of State is going to fill that seat. She will likely not face any real opposition. And even the Tampa Bay Times, which is a very liberal rag, has confirmed this. Florida Secretary of State Laurel Lee to resign, eyes congressional run. Lee oversaw the state's elections under Governor Ron DeSantis. Tallahassee, yesterday. Florida Secretary of State Laurel Lee is stepping down Monday in a precursor, for a likely run for a Tampa Bay area congressional seat. Lee submitted a letter of resignation to Governor Ron DeSantis, according to a Thursday email sent to the state's county election supervisors by Maria Matthews, director of the state's Division of Elections. Matthews said Lee was resigning to pursue, quote, other opportunities, but she's considered to be jumping into the race for Congressional District 15, which takes in Zephyr Hills, western Lakeland, and part of Lake County, as well as northeastern Hillsborough. Lee's letter to DeSantis gives no reason for the resignation and says nothing about her future plans except, I look forward to what the future holds. Of course, we don't give our enemies any more intelligence than what is necessary. Laurel M. Lee is a former assistant U.S. attorney and circuit judge in Hillsborough who was appointed Secretary of State by DeSantis in 2019. And of course, her the person who follows her will also be appointed. She has strong ties to the area through her husband, former State Senator Tom Lee. We'll talk about him in a minute. A Republican from Thanatasasa. He comes from a prominent, believe it or not, there's a place in Florida named Brandon-based family, and served 18 years in the Florida Senate, where he served as president from 2004 to 2006. She's also very close to Attorney General Ashley Moody. Now, once again, this is the TampaBay.com. If they had something negative to say about her, they would. But she is a bipartisan person that has been able to work with both parties and has enjoyed the support of both parties. Fenske said, we wish her the best of luck in all of her future endeavors. Since joining the DeSantis administration, she has won bipartisan praise, particularly for the state's handling of the 2020 election, one of the state's smoothest in decades. This is one of the smoking guns that confirmed the 2,000 donkeys thing that revealed it was just people, not magical make-believe thumb drives and machines. Because if you were going to do something nefarious, you'd of course have wanted to do it in Florida, but they didn't. She stayed out of the political fray. Elections became a political target for Republicans, but they couldn't because we did it the right way. We did it the right way. Now, this 15th congressional district, this brand new district, is over just east of Tampa, east and northeast, goes up to the border of Orlando right here. And this has been the topic of a lot of discussion lately, this new map that's been created in Florida because of our new level of representation. What's going to happen is conservatives are going to take a lot larger place amongst those representatives in D.C. There's going to be a lot more of them as a percentage because we've gotten rid of a very inappropriate map that allowed certain liberal entities to create these weird districts that start all the way over in East Jacksonville and meander their way all the way over to Gadsden in the Panhandle, trying to create more of an advantage for minorities than they are entitled to. And that's really all I'm going to say about this. There's a new map out that is much more appropriate. District 1, District 2, 3, 4, 5. It's what you would normally think when you were going to carve up a state. This is what districts should look like. Florida 2020, Florida 2022. The state is far more conservative than it is liberal, and it's going to reflect that. And there are folks that just don't like it. Now, who's going to take Laurel M. Lee's position? Since it's an appointed position, it's kind of a hard thing to divine, but I would venture to say that Inside Baseball would have our chief financial officer, Jimmy Patronis, as the number one candidate. Why? Well, he's already started doing different negotiations with foreign entities, Brazil, India, others. So he's already on the ground making this kind of stuff happen. Now, who would take his position? Well, this is where it gets a little complicated. His position is part of the ruling council in Florida. It would have to be an elected position. So that's where some might think that might be a tough thing. You know, you don't want to risk any huge shakeups this close to the midterms. Now, this is where it's going to get a little weird. If Laurel Lee goes and runs for that position to take Florida 15, and Jimmy Patronis takes her job as Secretary of State, more than likely, are you ready for this? Laurel M. Lee's husband, a man named Tom Lee, might take Jimmy Patronis's position as CFO. Why? Well, back in 2006, he lost a very close race to a woman named Alex Sink for that position. And he's been out of politics for a while. But bringing him back for that position would secure conservative control of not only the entire governing council, but our representation in D.C. for a long, long time. I will stay on this and keep you apprised of any new information. But right now, that's kind of what it's looking like. Bitcoin has made a small rebound, but there's a reason why. Some people have said, have you seen it's gone up a couple $1,000s? I said, yeah, but there's a reason. They have this article out talking about this couple $1,000 rebound. Hell of a reverse candle, they're calling it. Well, the reason it's bounced back up from 26,000 to closer to 30,000 is all the way down here at the bottom of this article. And I won't waste your time with all of the baloney, but it has to do with major investors. It's this company called MicroStrategy. Cointelegraph recently reported MicroStrategy, the company with the largest Bitcoin treasury, hinted that it would buy into any significant weakness toward 20,000 in an attempt to support the market, which is what they're already doing. It's this large corporation that is controlling the collapse, basically, so that their investors have a chance to get out. Now, this is something else that's more confirmation of what's coming. Luna, another cryptocurrency, founder's wife under emergency protection after crypto market death spiral plunges the coin to zero. 13 May 2022, 7:27 a.m. This is what's going to start to happen. These other coins, these smaller coins, are going to collapse under the weight of the destruction of Bitcoin. And the people that push this, the Ponzi schemers, they're going to have to find places to run and hide. One has already had to do this. And this is just the wife of the founder. The next big crash number is 21K. It hit 26, it bounced up to 30, it's going to work its way down, it's going to hit 21, then it'll probably bounce back up to 24, and then it'll get below 20. It's going away slowly so that they can allow time for the pirates to board their ships, to use an analogy here, and push off for parts unknown. Don't be a victim. And those of you out there pushing crypto, the cashless society, this was a great thing I picked up off of Twitter. A cashless society means no cash, zero. It doesn't mean mostly cashless. And you can still use a little bit of cash here and there. Cashless means fully digital, fully traceable, fully controlled. The thing you signed up for, the thing that you've been pushing. I think those who support a cashless society aren't fully aware of what they're asking for. Now read cryptocurrency pushers. That's what they're pushing for. Their alternative to the dollar was a cashless society. That's what crypto is. It means no more tuck-away cash for those preparing to leave domestic violence situations. No more purchases off marketplace unless you want to risk bank transfer fraud. No more garage sales. No more cash donations to hungry homeless people as you pass. No more cash slipped into the hands of a child from their grandparent. No more money in birthday cards. No more piggy banks or tooth fairy for your kid. No more selling little bits and pieces from your home that you no longer want or need for a bit of cash in return. Less choice. Banks have control of everything you do. Every transaction you make is recorded. All your movements and actions are traceable. These last three things are what Bitcoiners and cryptocurrency have been bragging about. Oh, you can't commit fraud with it. It's all trackable. It's all traceable. Yes, exactly right. Exactly right, Bitcoiner. That's anti-freedom. That is anti-liberty. The Bitcoiners and the crypto pirates have done more to advance the cause of communism in the last 10 to 15 years than Mao Zedong ever did. Or Xi Jinping. They want to know everything you're doing. Now, last topic of the day. Haven't talked about the Patriot Nurse in a while, and the reason has been a lot of people have come to my comment section talking about how it was inappropriate for me to do so. Because every time, of course, you promote anyone of the opposite sex, there's always some type of a nefarious motive there. So I stopped. I had a brief conversation with her about this, and I said, I can't let this go on. I'm going to have to step away for a while because of the harassment. I don't want to cause you problems. I don't want to cause myself any problems. But she put out a video recently on a topic that I think bears looking into. It's this whole thing with the baby formula. And she made a comment about how recently there has been this hypersexualization of the breasts of women, and there are women out there who would prefer to use formula as opposed to breastfeed because of the deleterious negative effects on the appearance of the female breast after breastfeeding. Guys, I'll tell you what, if there is ever a reason for you to have your man card revoked, it would be this. If you would ever counsel a woman to not breastfeed a child because of some perceived negative effect on her appearance from the waist up, you just turn your man card in right now. That's horrible. I don't necessarily think, though, things have changed that much as far as the hypersexualization goes. And this picture proves it. If you were to go to a beach in 1970 or a beach in 2021, generally speaking, the physical appearance, the relative attractiveness of both men and women, I think you could say clearly that in 1970, there would be, as a proportion, a lot more women with bikini bodies, a lot more men with six-pack abs, as opposed to 2021. The difference is the internet. The difference is the amount of connectedness. Because there were girls walking around 1970, 1980 at the beach in skimpy stuff, and people were smaller and skinnier and in better shape in the 70s and 80s than they are now. So you would think, based on that, the hypersexualization would be less now because people are less attractive. So it's just something I wanted to throw out there. But the Patriot Nurse needs a lot more followers on all of her social media than she gets. I don't know why she doesn't have 1 million across all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. For the amount of time that she's been doing this and the amount of great information that she provides, there should be absolutely no reason whatsoever. I mean, this is her with Ted Cruz. I've never met Ted Cruz. I've never met a politician anywhere to this level at all. So, give her a shout out, give her a like, give her a follow. I don't know if she's on Truth Social or not. I'll have to look that up. But those of you trolls out there who think that just because I've mentioned her or Jennifer Veterans for Truth or whoever else, there's some nefarious motive. She's in Knoxville. I'm in Palm Coast, Florida, 1,000 miles away. Same thing with Jennifer Veterans for Truth. She's got 3 kids, lives in Louisiana. Wouldn't have the time or the effort, the necessary effort, ability to. I've got to keep up with the channel here. She's got her family there. The Patriot Nurse travels all over the country. Every other week she's in Montana and she's in Dallas, and she was just here in Florida, but she was an hour and a half away from me. I didn't attend that session. So just give it a rest. We're just all trying to support each other here on YouTube. That's all. That's really all this is about. So anyway, I will leave it there. God bless from the free new sovereign Republic of Florida. Have a great weekend. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.